So today's topic is about ABAP and ABAP programming. Is it clear, my voice? Hello. Okay. So how the project will flow and how the project and yesterday we have seen who are the different functional consultants and what is ABAP and what is SAP and what is ERP, right? So today we will discuss about how the project flow will happen and how the SAP look likes and what are the different functionalities of ABAP. Okay. So first of all, we will see what is the flow of SAP project. So client will provide a requirement, that is business requirement document, which is provided to functional consultants. So client will tell what they require actually. So they will give us, I want this type of input screens, I want this type of scenarios, and they will provide all the business processes. Okay. So functional consultants will analyze those business requirement and they will prepare some functional specifications. So what they want it in a uh, what they want, what they want to do, and what type of configurations they want to do, like that. Okay. And then it will shared with the senior ABAPers, and they will what they will do, they will create some technical specifications from the functional specifications. They will create some technical specifications. So according to the functional specifications, they will prepare what type of objects to be uh, developed at the with the what type of objects to be developed with their requirement. Okay. Just a second. So what functional consultants given screens, how they want, all the things will be in a functional document. Senior ABAPers, what they will do, they will analyze the functional specification and they will prepare some technical specification. What does it contains? It contains what are all the ABAP objects to be developed and what type of objects it requires. So they will create that. Okay, and then they will share with the junior ABAPers or normal ABAPers who were doing coding. So these ABAPers will design all the objects which was provided by senior ABAPers, and they will do the unit testing. So what they have coded, they need to do unit testing. That means what we do design and testing at ourselves, that whether what we designed is working properly or not. Then it will move to quality. There what will happen, all the different functional modules, whatever the developments have been done, that all will be tested as a part, that is called integration testing. Okay, once the functional consultants have done the integration testing, then it will move to the user acceptance test. Okay. So after functional consultant testing, if there is any issue, it will revert back to the ABAPers. Then they need to modify it. Once all modifications are done, then it will provide it to the end user so that end user can do unit user acceptance test, that is called UAT. So once the user accepted the requirement, that means they have reached their requirement, they have reached the business process what they are expecting, then it will go to go live, that is in production. PRD means production. Okay. Then the end user will utilize the functionality. So this is what the life cycle of an SAP project. In this life cycle, ABAPers will play a key role part because they will design all the development and they will be the base for all the requirements. Okay. Next. So how will be the project landscape? Some companies will have different type of landscape. Some companies will have another three-tiered architecture. Some companies will have four-tiered architecture. Some companies will have five-tiered architecture. So it may be anything, but it will be within these five things only. So what are these? These are different servers. Okay. So IDEs means it is an integrated development environment system where we can do our testing developments. Okay. So that means it is a practice system, simply called as a practice system. Okay. So next one is sandbox. Sandbox will be a development research and production copy. Okay. So it will be having all the objects of production. Okay. So every monthly or quarterly, they will replicate the production data into sandbox. Okay. So once sandbox development is done, we will move it to the development. So after development, what we will do? We will do unit testing, and then we will share with the QAS for integration testing. So here only every testing will happen and it will be go back to the development if there are any issues in the coding or something the functionality is missing. So here only the cycle will runs loop. Okay. Once the user acceptance is done, it will move to the production. If an object is moved to production, it won't revert back to dev. If there are any issues in production, then we need to design again from development itself. Okay. So end user will access only to the production system. ABAPers will access to the development, quality, IDS and sandbox. We will not having the access to production because we will not do any modifications at production level. What we will do? We will do all the changes at development itself, and then we'll share with the quality, and once the UAT is approved, it will move to the production. That is the project landscape. Okay. So logon pad of an SAP, how would it look like? See here. So are you able to see clearly this one? Hello. Yeah. So this is the logon pad where we will maintain all the systems. So each system is called as a server. Okay. The server will be located at somewhere in the data center or in the office. Okay. Those servers will be maintained here with using their IP address and system ID that I will explain you one by one. Okay. So once the server is maintained, when you click on the server, it will display the logon page like this, where you enter client, username, password and login language. Okay. So this was the login page. We will explain one by one part of it. Okay. So see here what it called. First one is client. So client is basically called as a instance of a server. Instance means it is a one piece of server where we can do our own things. So there will be two different things: client dependent and client independent. Okay. So it is decided on basis of this client numbers only. Okay. So next one, user and password. User and password, for every application there will be a login credentials. Okay. So for that same thing, we will be having here user ID and password, which we are using to log in into SAP server of 100 client. Okay. So logon language, there will, we already discussed that SAP has evaluated into different languages. So whatever language you want to get display, you can select here. Okay. So we will select English here. Okay. So what is client? Okay, see here, there are three clients: 100, 150, 200, simply called a logical portion of physical database. Okay, so we are dividing the database into three partitions where we are using it as a client. So in 100 client we will store some data, in 150 client we will store some data, and 200 client we will store some data. So simply I will differentiate these clients. 100 client is for development, 110 client is test client. So where we will develop the developments in 100 client and we will test in 150 client. Like that we can differentiate each clients. Okay. So uh, whatever the developments we are doing will be done by ABAPers. Okay, and configuration part will be done by functional consultants. Okay, so all customizing means what? Configurations and developments will be performed in SAP R3 client. Okay, so in this client only we will do configurations and development. Okay, so configurations will store in separate individual client, and development will store in separate individual client, which can be transported to each of the system by using transport request. So how they will transport? Using transport request. All the developments can be transported to each client using transport request. Clearly, listen first clearly. What are the technical terms I am discussing? Uh, Please be noted. If you have any doubt, raise a doubts in at the end. Okay. So initially we said that the client will perform key role in client dependent and client independent. So client dependent means whatever the entries you have captured in client 000 or 100 or 120 will be different from other clients. Those type of data will called as client dependent data. That means the data which is stored in one client will not get shared with another client is called client dependent data. Okay, so that it basically tells that it is dependent on client system. What all will be the client? Some examples we have given here, like number ranges, ABAP variants, user master data. Okay, and SAP R3 transactions. We initially told that whatever the objects in SAP we deals with call as transaction codes. Okay, so next, client independent data. It may be the data which is get transferred to all the clients is known as client independent data. That will be source code, screens, menus, everything. Okay, those data will get transferred to all the clients. That means it is client independent. Okay, are you getting it? Okay, so whatever the objects ABAPers are going to develop, whatever the things ABAPers are doing in SAP will get stored in package. Package means collection of objects. Clear? So here we will having two type of packages, like non-transportable package and transportable package. Okay, non-transportable package means that we cannot move that object which was under that package to any of the client. So we said we will be having different clients. So if you develop some object in develop 100 client, which is stored in non-transportable package, cannot be moved to 200 client. Okay, That means whatever the object you are going to develop at 100 client and stored in local object. I'm again saying non-transportable object, and I'm binding it to local object. Okay. So the object you are developing in 100 client and saving it in a local, then it won't be get transported. So what is the local package here? Dollar temp. SAP has default local package. So SAP has a default local package called dollar $TMP. Okay, that means it is a temporary and it will store within the client, which cannot be moved to another client. Next, transportable packages. In the name itself, it was saying that the objects which can be transported to another clients or another systems, like development to quality and production. That means whatever the objects we want to move to quality and production, we will store in transportable packages. Transportable packages can be created by ourselves. We will create transportable package. Okay, so how we will create, I will explain step by step. Okay, in so technical team leads will only create these things, because if you, if while creating this package or while utilizing this package, if you done any mistake, that object will not get transported to other system. So that's why in real business scenario, what we will do, we will create technical leads will create the packages and assign to the team. And how the screen navigation will be there. So what are the things in the screen it is there. Okay, so see here. So this is called SAP NetViewer screen. Okay, so here you are able to see first thing what menu, user menu. Okay, so it will be having menu bar. In menu bar we will be having different types of menu, like menu, edit, favorites, extras, system, help. Okay, so next one is standard toolbar. We will be having here some tools like back, cancel, exit. Okay, find plus plus, up, page up. Okay, scroll up, scroll down, page down. Okay, new window, shortcut, everything, settings. Okay, here we will get title bar, which will show the title of current object. Okay, so this menu and standard toolbar, everything will get differentiated on the object what you are dealing with. Okay, next, this is the SAP Access. This is the SAP Access screen, initial screen. Then there will be having some application toolbar where some application keys will be placed. Okay, so here one thing is highlighted was command field, where we will enter all the transactions, that means all the objects which you want to see or which you want to perform actions. So these will be entered here. Okay, clear? So what will be having menu bar? Menu bar is a top line of dialog window which is having some menus. Okay, just given a brief of this. The standard toolbar. The toolbar will having what all the functionality standard tools like page down, page up. Okay, top of page, end of page, save a variable like this. Title bar. Title bar will having the current object title or business application title. Okay, so application toolbar will be having a application based menu. Okay, and command field. So where we are entering the transaction codes. I already informed you that the objects what we are dealing in SAP will called as transaction codes. So those transaction codes will be entered at command field. Clear? Okay. So what is ABAP and what it will be having? So up to now, what we seen, what is SAP and what is the landscape and what is the project system and how the SAP screen will look like, okay, and how the navigation screen will look like, okay. Now we are going in depth to ABAP language. So now what we are seeing, what is ABAP and how the ABAP syntaxes will be, basics. So how the coding will be and how the flow of logic will be, okay, those things we are going to see now, okay. So SAP ABAP is a advanced basic business application programming language. So where we will develop this one inside the SAP, we will be having ABAP editors. There only we will develop ABAP. Okay. So it is the fourth generation language as we discussed earlier. C, CPP, Java are third generation language. ABAP is the fourth generation language. It is also similar like procedure sequential programming language. That means it will be executing the statements from top to bottom in a sequence as like C, Java, etc. It also supports object-oriented concepts. So as we are aware of, like some of the programming languages like C++, Java will support object-oriented concepts that which can be reusability. ABAP also support object-oriented concepts. So ABAP is an event-driven programming language. So for every re- for every object there will be some event which will be utilized in ABAP. Okay. So yesterday we discussed that ABAP is a database independent language. That means it supports multiple databases and multiple languages where we can store data, which will convert the ABAP program into multiple databases. Anyone? Which will convert the ABAP code into multiple databases. Yeah, exactly. So the ABAP engine, what we called it as a ABAP engine, which converts the ABAP programming into multiple database on multiple languages. Okay. So what will be inside the programming of ABAP? So as we are aware that CPP are having some case sensitive keywords and everything. And Java also will be having case sensitive. That means first letter of everything in keyword in Java will be in capital letter. But if ABAP is a non case sensitive language, that means you can write in uppercase or in lowercase at anything. But each and every statement will end with end operator. End means dot. See this one, period operator. What we will call this operator as period operator. Okay. Each statement will end with period operator. Okay. So as like of other languages, all the mathematical operators will be utilized in ABAP, but here one condition is there that we need to provide a single space before and after the mathematical operator. That means when you are using addition operator a plus b, that means you need to mention a space plus space b so that it will treat as a mathematical operator. Otherwise, it will consider like normal string. Clear? Next. So how will be the flow? Okay. So first, what we will do, we will declare all the variables. Okay. Whatever we want to use inside the program, what we will do, we will declare at the header level, that is called as declarations. See here, one example is given like define x, y, z. So we are defining three variables like x, y, z. So what we will do, we will perform all the operations inside the logic statements. So what will be the logic statement here? Z equal to x plus y. See here, we have mentioned space between space before and after the mathematical operator, even for equal to also. Okay, like this we will maintain spaces between two operators. Okay. So we will display this logic, and once the output what we required we got, then we will display this as output statements, that is the footer. So above flow will happen from header to footer, that means top down approach, as we are aware of two approaches, top down approach and bottom up approach. Above programming will follow top down approach. Okay, so see here, so how the abap code will look like. Simple. So this is the programming start statement, that means from here the programming will get started. So here we are using types, data, constants. So these three are called as declarations. Okay, we can write modules, module and module. This is a dialog programming. Okay, so next we will use events, initialization, start of selection, end of selection. Those are all event blocks. Okay, so this is a procedure where we will do logical operations or logical statements. Okay, so like this SAP programming, ABAP programming will look like. No issues, you will get easily understand step by step. Don't worry about the code what is here. Okay, so what will be the declaration is having? Declarations will be having some statements that will declare the variables and objects what are we are using inside the program. So or within that program, whatever the things what we are going to use within that program, we will declare in the declarations part. Okay, so processing blocks, like these processing blocks will be invisible program units. Okay, which we will create somewhere and we will utilize somewhere. Okay, so there will be two different types of processing blocks, which are event blocks and dialog blocks. Okay, so event blocks are majorly utilized by using some keywords like what we see in initialization, start of selection, like that. Okay, dialog program means which will start with module and end with end module. Okay, or else procedure dialogues, procedures. So procedures will start with the form and end with end form. Okay, for every statement there will be an end thing. Okay, next. So what we need to remember here in ABAP reports. Okay, so here a program means a series of statements that which can be executable. It may be executable program or dialog program. Okay, so program is a keyword which we are using for a sequence of statements. Okay, next, a report. Report means which will provide you list of values or list of elements which end user is end user requirement, which is end user requirement. Report is a list which was okay, which was, and also report simply called as after executing of program, it will give an output in a list format. Simply report will called as a output of executable program. Okay. Next, module pool. So module pool will contain some modules and screens and dialog programming. So when we discuss about screens, we will call the screens and everything as a module pool. Okay. So next, a list. So this is a list of an output of similar like report program, but so as report program will get displayed list, a list may be in different types. It may be grid layout, or it may be non-executable block. It may be non-editable block also, like that. What are the forms? Forms are a subroutines which are used to, sorry, here forms means like printouts, whatever you want to take printouts, Adobe Forms, okay, document format. List means it will display the data in Excel format like rows and columns. Forms means it will display in the document format. Okay. So see here. So this was the same thing what we are discussing now. Report a series of ABAP statements. Sorry, program a series of ABAP statements. Report, which is called as output, a program output. Okay, module pool, which is a collection of screens. List, that is generated from the ABAP report program. So up to here, what we seen, what is SAP and how does the SAP looks like, and what is ABAP and what is the ABAP programming structure. So so how will be the flow? Declarations, logic, and footer. That means output statements. Declarations, logic, and output statements. So now first we will start with the declarations part. So for every programming language, there will be some data types will be there. What is a data type? So why it is required? Simply we say that data type is a blueprint of properties. That means it is a skeleton of a variable. Okay. So that means data type cannot hold any data. Okay. As we are aware of that C, CPP, Java will be having some data types like int, boolean, okay, char. Similar like ABAP will having some data types. Okay, data types defines that what type of data and what is the size of data. That means size means memory consumed by the variable. Clear? So variable, in the name itself it is mentioning that it varies. That means it will change based on the data type. Okay. So data type is a skeleton and variable is the instance of data type. Okay. So data type does not hold any memory or it will not store any value, but variable store value and variable is allocated with some memory. Okay. That's why variable hold the data. Okay. So what are the different data types exist in ABAP? Similar like C, CPP, Java, we are having some similar data types like basic or elementary data types. What are those? Character, CHAR, char, which will call by using a keyword called C. Okay, numeric, NUNC, N, integer, I, DATS, that means date type. Okay, float, that means if it is having a periodic symbol between like 10.5, 10.35 something, so those things are called as a float. Packet data type, that means it is also a floating data type but having large amount of floating value string. So whatever the values which is entered in a series called as a string, it may be numeric values or it may be character values, everything will comes under string. Okay, it will be the memory and size will allocated for the string dynamically. For rest of the things there will be fixed size, like for character and numeric, whatever the size we mention while declaring the variable, it will be get allocated to the character or numeric one. Okay, but integer one it will allocate 4 bytes of memory. For dates it will allocate dummy, that means it will not having any memory itself. Float and packed also, whatever the size we will mention while declaring here, it will assign those size. But when we compare with other languages, here it is database independent. That's why the memory is getting allocated by declarations part itself. There is no fixed size for each and every data type. Okay. So apart from these elementary data types, we also have some structured data types. Those are called data element, structure, and table type. So we will see one by one data type in SAP ABAP. Okay. So when we get deep into the programming, the default type of data type of any variable which is not defined, okay, that means the data type is not defined in the program, then it will assigned to default data type called character, and the default size of character is 1 byte. If you doesn't assign any size for the variable, then it will treat as a 1 byte, and the value and the value will be space. So the default value, if you doesn't assign as any value to character variable, then it will take it as a space. So initial value for integer is 0. Clear? So up to here what we have seen. So what is SAP and how the SAP screen will look like and how we will navigate into the SAP. Then what is ABAP and how the ABAP programming language flow, and uh, how the data types will be exist and what are the different data types. We will discuss one by one data type in depth. Okay, is everyone clear?